Welcome back to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches. I'm Richard.
I'm Noah.
And today we are going to revisit Helldivers.
We are going to revisit Helldivers with some curated material here that I have been scouring YouTube for all of 30 minutes to find. I'm joking.
So before we get started,
yes.
All right. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone from the Helldivers community who watched our first video. Because that video exploded. I don't think either one of us expected that.
Well, it coincidentally went up around the same time as a massive event in game, so I don't think that hurt us.
No, it didn't. but it was not planned that way.
It was not planned that way.
And I have to say that there's only one other community that has welcomed us with the enthusiasm that the Helldivers community did, and that's the One Piece community.
Yeah.
All right. And so thank you. Thank you for all the comments. I thoroughly enjoyed responding to them, and I responded to a lot
of
comments, and we really do appreciate it.
Genuinely.
But I feel so. Okay, Helldivers community. If that video was your first introduction to Pork Chops, Rice, and Peaches,
which it probably was for a lot of you.
For a lot of you, then my name is Richard.
I'm Noah.
I am Noah's dad. And we are, we were a homeschooling family, and I was Noah's lit instructor for years, well, every subject actually, for years, and and we started this rolling conversation over the years about video games, about stories, movies, TV shows, where we took the literary analysis that we brought to the literature classes. I'm a former high school English teacher, and we brought them to all these other, genres. And
that's what started the channel.
We annoyed the piss out of his mother, who said, "Why don't you guys take this to another room and put it on YouTube?" And it was during COVID, and she was working from home, and she was like, it was her nice way of saying, Get the hell out. Right? Okay. So that's how the whole thing got started. Now, I'm going to address a comment to my fellow Gen Xers. All right. Now, Noah assured me that I didn't need to do this, but I actually have to for two reasons. One, I'm slightly disappointed. I'm not going to use the term butthurt to describe some of your reactions. But the other thing is, I'm a dad, and I'm going to defend my son. So in doing so, I am going to...
You're going to get me bullied by your internet, Dad. You can't do this. You're going to make it worse. You can't tell the teacher.
So the whole concept of Millennial Son Teaches a Gen X Dad about X is just our way of having Noah share his interests with me. That's all. That's all it really is.
That's all it is.
And some of you, my fellow Gen Xers are out there going, "Hey, we're the original gamers. We played Pong. We played Atari." Well, I don't know what part of Gen X you come from, but I'm 1965, baby. I'm first year Gen X. And for the first 10 years of my life, we didn't have video games. We played in the street unsupervised. Okay, so I got that out of my system.
I'm going to now look up when Atari came out.
It's probably like 72, I think. It was.
Either way, you weren't a gamer growing up. You didn't play in the arcades. That is...
that was loud.
Too early for that.
So, yeah, while you look that up, I didn't... There was one family on our block that had Pong.
77.
And I'll be honest with you, they had more money than the rest of us. We were too poor to have Atari. And that's just the truth. It's not a complaint. It's just the reality. When I started seeing video games and I started seeing arcades, I didn't understand them. Mm-hmm. I didn't play them well. And I didn't see the value of pumping quarters in. Yeah. It's like, pump a quarter in, move the joystick side to side, and Miss Pac-Man dies. And, I mean, it was just like...
So you were bad at it.
I was really bad at it.
Skill issue, got it.
And it was a skill issue. Yes, it was 100% skill issue. I sucked at them. Therefore, I didn't... So I became a video game player with Zelda in the early 2000s.
Wind Waker.
Yeah, Wind Waker.
Wind
So-
Waker, very specifically.
Right.
Wind Waker, and then Twilight.
and then all of that.
all of them.
So I'm kind of amused. I think the late Gen Xers, the post 1975 Gen Xers, probably grew up with video games more.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, hey, we played video games. Like, yeah, we get it, but that's not the point.
I wasn't
of this.
trying to throw him under. Well, I was trying to throw him under the bus, not the entire
Not
generation.
the entire generation.
Not the entire
Yeah.
generation under the
Right.
bus.
He can. We got mad love for the Helldiver community. Honestly, instantly,
it's a
we love you guys.
clickbait title.
Yeah, okay. I
It's a
wasn't going to
clickbait
say that,
title.
but yeah, kind of was.
I'm shameless. I'm
you know.
shameless. It gets clicked. No.
So, anyways,
But
thank you.
but no, genuinely.
Thank you for the reaction.
Thank you, guys.
for the reception.
So now, to avoid a 20-minute intro, that was one that I found amusing on the last one. Because 20-minute intros aren't how you start videos on YouTube. 50,000 views later. Anyway, that was really funny. That's my one. Don't bully anyone. It was just a really amusing comment. It was really funny. Welcome to the channel. We go on tangents all the time.
Oh yeah, it's
So
it's a real
back
thing.
to Helldivers. Today we're going to be showing you the original launch trailer, some of the update trailers, and then I'm going to find some gameplay videos and some memes from the community in video format that are entertaining.
Okay.
And we're going to watch some of them.
Okay.
And touch upon, a bit more of the goofy vibe that the game brings. Something I did not tell you, I did not show you when we originally played,
Okay.
is that you get to name the ship that is your hub.
Okay.
Right? So remember, we were on the ship, and then you would load in and go to a different planet.
Right.
You get to name your ship. It doesn't change it. It's just what you name your ship, and you can change it all the time. But it's really funny because they give you it's the SES Super Earth ship, and then it's like a Mad Lib. It's the blank of blank, and then you have options to choose from. So you've got like.
So you can't put in your own stuff.
No, you can't put in your own stuff. That's what your name is for. No, you get the first word, something like the Patriot, the Guardian, the blank of blank. Democracy, freedom, patriotism. The blank of blank. I just wanted to share that I love. My ship is called the SES Aegis of Destruction.
Okay.
Kind of an oxymoron, and Aegis is essentially a shield.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It's just a fancy way of saying shield, essentially.
Gotcha. All right.
It comes from Zeus's shield in mythology, which is called Aegis.
For my
So-
entire life, I
And you were never into Greek mythology.
How did I get through this point in my life without ever having studied Greek mythology? But I homeschooled my son, and he knows it forwards and backwards.
Anyway, so yeah, my ship's the SES Aegis of Destruction, which is
Gotcha.
hilarious. I'm the shield of destruction.
The shield of
But yeah,
destruction. That's
you
good.
get-
That's nicely
I
done.
like the someone had the SES Patriot of Patriotism.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them are of the it's blank of, and then one of the options is family values.
Oh, I can see some.
The SES representative of family values, guardian, whatever. People just put the funniest combinations together. Drop your that having been said, drop your ship names and/or your funniest ship names that you have seen in the comment section.
Oh, I would
below.
love to read
That
those.
would be hilarious.
Okay, so
please do.
something that I haven't told you. Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
With your computer guru younger brother, we're working on a way of getting me to take all of the wonderful suggestions that y'all have given us in the comments to make it so that I can try this game out.
Okay.
So we might, and this is not a promise, but we might have gameplay video.
Okay, we might try a gameplay video.
Well, yeah, we're gonna, because I think we're working on a way, we're gonna do a couple test runs.
Yeah.
But then we're gonna work on a way of doing it and getting it recorded.
Okay.
But I'll be honest with you, based on my performance in the training video, I think we're going for the world record of how how quickly I can get killed.
There's a yeah.
I suck.
Be funny. So, and another thing. So,
and that reminds me. Somebody, I don't know who it is, and I apologize for not knowing your name, commented that it took you 10 tries to dive underneath the laser.
I read that one.
You read that one?
Great. Yeah,
all right.
I did read that. I read all the comments. They were great.
The only reason I was able to do that in 2 tries is because he told me what to do. That was it. Otherwise, I might have topped because
it would have been, I considered letting you try to figure it out.
I got my ass kicked by Zelda today. I mean, echoes of wisdom. There was a piranha plant there that just gave me fits until your sister, who, you know what? Someone who's very, very, very well-meaning. I love my daughter to death. I really do. But she couldn't quite remember how to coach me through this one scene with a 4-headed piranha plant, and every clue that she gave me was wrong.
That's funny.
And then she sat next to me listening to me swear and saying, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that." And that's how bad I am at video games. Anyway, we digress.
All right.
What are we looking at here? Somebody told us that our video looked like a 2008 beginning YouTube video, which I absolutely loved that.
It was the quality of the camera, which I hope that we fixed this time because it was out of focus.
Yeah.
The autofocus did not kick in because we were recording through the capture on the computer, and yeah, it was.
Okay, so the beautiful part about that comment, and whoever said it, I absolutely love you for this.
Several other people loved that.
Right. Yes, that's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
We are really an old school. We have not gone corporate. I loved that. Most YouTubers have gone corporate. We haven't.
No.
We're not spit and polish. We're lucky if we can find the end of our videos.
Yeah. All right, so here is what I believe is the official launch trailer.
Blood and gore, intense violence. I like it already.
Yeah.
You can tell I'm a Gen X.
The Federation of Super Earth, keeping managed democracy safe with the lives of our heroes, protecting freedom from tyranny with the gentle touch of an iron fist. But liberty's enemies march ever closer. Together, we must take back control of freedom.
Together for managed democracy.
Together for victory.
Together for liberty.
Together for liberty.
Together, they fight for freedom. Will you? Work together to protect your future. Dispense peace with the ultimate weaponry. Join the Helldivers, the galaxy's last line of offense. Pre-order now.
Offense. Yeah, very well phrased. Last line of offense. I like it.
The
oxymorons unite.
Yes, it's oxymorons. The game.
Okay.
You know. So some updates for you.
Okay. Was that the original trailer for Helldivers 2?
That is one of the original. That was the pre-order trailer. So.
Just out of curiosity, how successful was it?
This game?
No, the pre-order trailer.
Probably incredibly successful.
Okay.
The game. Well, I mean, actually, no, probably not, because honestly, the game mostly spread through word of mouth and viral clips online.
Okay.
From what I've heard, it kind of just dropped. They were not expecting the player base that it had.
Gotcha.
And it just kind of blew up. But so some updates for you since you played.
Okay.
what was it? So basically Super Earth came under attack since we last played. So like the heart of the map, we actually fought on the homeworld. And it was hilarious. It was stressful as hell, and it was almost 2 solid weeks. I think it was 11 days of a defense operation to protect this one planet in game, and players of all time zones playing around the clock.
Wow.
Defending the planet. Yeah.
Wow.
So, it's kind of a coordinated, it has to be a semi-coordinated effort, but also semi-uncoordinated. I'm not going to get into the inside the game politics of the different factions of Helldivers who are fighting the entire time.
So hang on a second. Then I have a tech question here.
Yeah.
This is really interesting. Mm-hmm. Somebody creates a video game that gets the entire world playing. Okay. In different time zones, different regions, different countries, the whole bit. Is this an online game? Mm-hmm. Okay. Is the game adjusted for language?
Yeah. Just blowing your mind. Yeah.
With the rolling tech. No, I'm just thinking of the complexity of it. I'm thinking of the complexity of the programming, the complexity of.
This is an old game engine too.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's just people far smarter than I to put that together. That's amazing.
Yeah. It was a little laggy on Super Earth too, but we were also blowing a lot of ordnance up. I dropped a lot of 500 kilogram bombs. So since you last played, Super Earth came under attack, and the president of Super Earth was tragically killed in action.
Oh, darn.
But don't worry. Managed Democracy quickly elected a new president to lead Super Earth into the future.
Wasn't the vice president?
I have no idea. They just make these announcements on their official channels. Do
they have cool names, the presidents?
I know, but there is the guy that narrated your training.
Okay.
His name is General Brash. And
appropriate.
In your ship,
right,
there is a TV screen. And it plays in-game news updates about what's going on.
Nice.
And it's just on a loop. And they are just as tongue-in-cheek as everything else in this game.
Okay.
But sometimes you'll occasionally get Brash Tactics with General Brash.
Nice.
Which is essentially...
War crimes?
Yeah. Okay. Or charge into the enemy. Have no fear, soldier.
We can replace you.
Pretty much.
We frequently do.
So yeah, there's a little fun thing as I.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
Before I switch to the next one.
That's funny. These creators have just got to sit and laugh when they come up with this stuff.
Oh yes, they
to be a fly on the wall in that writing process.
Okay. I am going to do.
So this has only been out for about 15 months.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Let me see. Omens of Tyranny show case. So remember when I told you that the original guy came back?
Attention citizens! Across the galaxy, the valiant Helldivers have fought to protect our way of life. But I am here with grave tidings. Managed democracy is imperiled like never before. Homes are being ravaged. Families are being abducted. And you could be next.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
That is, unless you direct your undivided attention to the following announcement. And remember, freedom conquers all.
They arrived without warning.
This is when the third faction dropped. So, at a game
basically the Game Awards, which is like trying to be the game's Oscars. He came out on stage, did that speech. This played immediately afterwards.
Okay.
And then these enemies dropped in game that day. Like,
Oh, nice.
Laying
Oh,
waste
that's
to
well
our
done.
all right.
That's
so
well
let
done.
me get back to
Kudos to the people who planned that out.
yeah. This is great. So
They arrived
Hang on a
without
second. Hang on a
warning.
second. That means that everybody who's watching the awards and is watching this drop, by the time they get to their game, they're already getting their asses kicked.
yes, that is literally what happened. We were sitting there. We were expecting something. They dropped this. Everyone, it was immediately, the player count went from I think 30,000, maybe 40,000. It shot up over 100K within an hour.
Nice.
Just immediately.
Nice.
All right, third time's a charm. I'm going to play this now.
I'm sorry.
because
I'll
there's
shut up.
actual
I'll shut
dialogue
up.
now.
I'll shut up.
Because this one's a little softer.
Laying waste to our peaceful colonies. Crushing all resistance. They stole our citizens' homes and their minds. And something much, much worse. Their freedom. But when our citizens are attacked, our greatest heroes arrive to set them free. For we are those who stand in the way of all tyranny, who will give our lives today for a freer tomorrow, who will take back control of freedom. And deliver peace to our homes. We are the Helldivers.
The soundtrack did not match the threat.
No, they never do. They never do. So
That was funny.
So yeah, that was the trailer they dropped. That entire sequence.
Gotcha.
He comes out. He does that. They immediately drop that trailer. Immediately starts on it. It's great.
That's brilliant.
It was fantastic. Everyone immediately jumped on and started fighting them because everyone wanted a new faction to fight.
Gotcha.
So the Illuminate, alien race, and they were an enemy faction in the first game. So it was a little less than a year before they dropped them in Helldivers 2, and it was a big event when they came out, and it was really funny. So in a system called managed democracy,
yes,
it's a society that comes up with bugs, bots, and squids to call their enemies, right?
Right.
So they come in, they distort the citizens of Super Earth into those horrific zombie-like creatures.
Right.
Any guesses on what they're called?
None.
They are called the Voteless.
That's ugly. That's ugly. Oh my goodness.
They're called the Voteless. They are the major horde.
Right.
So when you fight in game, you fight the bugs. The bugs are very horde based.
Is there
I
any
haven't really told you about the
saving them?
Oh,
there
no.
Any bringing them back?
Not in this game. Not with this game's. No. Why would we try to do that? The only way to free them is to put them out of their misery, soldier. Stay tuned for more brash tactics.
Yeah.
So the thing about the squids, the Illuminate, is that when you fought the bugs were horde based. They have very limited range. Capability. They have there's a few different types of bugs that can shoot acid at you, and that's about it. So when you fight the Terminids, the actual bug faction, they just kind of swarm you. The bots, well, they will fight in close if they have to. They have a lot of ranged firepower, so it's a different fight. It's a different way to play. So, the way you fight bugs is different from the way you fight bots. And then, but with the squids, with the Illuminate, it's the worst of both. Because you've got a horde of zombies, essentially, and then a bunch of big dudes in machines and ships and everything else that will snipe you from halfway across the map. So you have to be able to fight the actual aliens themselves, and then a horde of.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that could be all right.
They were a refreshing taste, and they are meant to be the game's hard mode. Essentially, is what the developers have said. So there's that. But yeah, that was It was also big because it was the first time
I've seen that concept in other video games where you have to fight the swarm before you get to the.
Yeah, except this time you'll get both at the same time.
Right. Yeah, that would be brutal.
It is brutal, but that's why the fight for Super Earth, when we actually got there, which is the next one I'm going to show you, next trailer, was brutal. The other note being that the Jeep, we had been waiting to get vehicles in game. We had mech suits, like big, armor suits of armor to shoot rockets and crap, but we really wanted like a fast vehicle, and that was the first time they dropped a vehicle that we could actually drop into the map and drive around in. Okay. So that was also the big thing. That's why that got so much attention. So just filling in some of the gaps for you.
Hang on. In game, is this Earth as we understand Earth sometime in the future, or is this just a made up type?
So I'm not quite sure on the lore.
Okay.
Because in the first game, the player base actually lost several times, and they just reset the game, like the game world and the game map. So I'm not sure I'm not sure how the canon works, but from what I have read, Super Earth is like the fourth or fifth Super Earth, but it is terraform. If my understanding is correct, each new Super Earth is terraformed to look like Earth. However, Mars also exists because that's where you trained. That's where you trained.
Okay, I was on Mars.
And
I didn't know that. Did I know that?
It says Mars training facility. I don't think you caught it. Which also,
I've always wanted to go to Mars.
Fun fact, you were one of the last people, like within the last week of people to actually train on Mars. Due to what we are about to watch. So I'm going to be really mad if this isn't the right trailer, but this is the announcement that they invaded Super Earth. So
okay.
Democracy burns. Super Earth has been invaded. The Illuminate scourge lays waste to hallowed ground. Cities in ruins. Families torn apart. Flags disrespectfully soiled. Billions of votes have already been lost. Could this be the end of managed democracy? Not today. Now is the time for full mobilization. Every defender of peace, rally to arms. We will turn our streets into our battlefield. Our playgrounds into our theater of war. We will form the clenched fist of democracy and show them what true freedom is. Disciplined, armed, and absolute. Join the fight. Super Earth needs you.
okay, you laugh, but that got everyone to come back.
That was funny. That was funny. So, there's just out of curiosity, because my mind is going at two different levels as I'm looking at this. All of the characters have helmets.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of the cityscapes resemble recognizable landscapes that we would know around the world? Does LA look like LA?
No, not really. It's a very because they have to have the stuff be very, very consistent between maps. So because they are procedurally generated, the cities have to kind of. Let me get to the This shot was dope.
Okay.
That was that is a dope shot right there.
Yeah, yes, it is. Yes,
That
it
is dope.
But when I saw that, I thought to myself, it's funny that the defenders of Earth have to be dropped onto Earth. They're not already down there.
We're called Helldivers, Dad, not hell casually stroll out of your ship into battle. We dive!
I corrected. I got it.
So, no, because the building models, they only have so many to work with. They're procedurally kind of, so they typically. But one fun thing is that in the first couple trailers I showed you, they were all mostly, for the most part, wearing the black and yellow.
Right.
With a couple variations for whatever suits were also available at the time. If you rewatch this entire thing and you pay attention, almost every single Helldiver model, and these are obviously staged for trailer purposes, but almost every single Helldiver model shown is wearing a different set of armor. A really cool way of showing
the variety.
And also some people pointed out when we a couple people pointed out to me, they said, no, it really felt like if you the more you dug into the trailer that they were calling everyone back home to defend the home front, which was really cool.
All right.
In terms of because I'll tell you, if I go fight bugs, they all wear different armor than the guys who fight the bots, and the guys who fight the bots wear different armor than the guys who fight the squids. So
and the armor
gives you bonuses.
Okay.
Passives. They're called passives. So it's like some armor allows you to carry extra grenades. Some allows you to carry extra health packs. Right. Some allows you to, resist more damage.
That's a standard video game mechanic.
It's a standard video game mechanic, but then there's looks you can mix and match. And some people like to, and of course, it's a game that allows you to customize your armor like that, or choose between options. People are going to be proud of their armor set that they wear because they want it to look good.
Sure.
Yeah. So, it's kind of a really cool way of showing all these different,
That's a second or third viewing thing to notice because I'm looking at these battles taking place, and
you're watching all the people killing themselves.
That man is so stylish while he kills that bug. Yeah, it's not happening.
Yeah. Also in that trailer, because I forgot to mention this, we have this as well. So they have hell bombs. They call them hell bombs. It's essentially a nuke. You call down, you arm it, and then you run.
Okay.
It's a manually armed nuke, essentially, like mini nuke. And it's used in mission to destroy super tough structures that need to be blown up. It's a heavy, powerful explosive. And because you have to usually call them in, arm them, and then leave, you risk killing yourself and others by arming these things or it getting shot and blowing up. Well, what else would this developer do but give you a portable option in the form of a backpack that you can call down and wear and then arm and then run into an enemy fortress, drop it, and keep going.
Ooh. And see if you can outrun the radius of the blast.
Or you run to your target, arm it, drop it, and then try to run out.
How many people arm it, run in, and just let it go and then respawn?
Oh, you try to save your respawns, but some people do, yeah. But
what do you mean? Is there a limit? Is there a finite number of respawns you can have? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when you're in mission, depending on how many people you have playing, there's a limited number of respawns before you got to GTFO. You also have a time limit. So that's where some of the
I didn't need that one explained to me.
Also in that update, which was the more recent update.
Right.
So we had in lore, the Helldivers are the elite troops because they drop in squads of 4. Despite dying a lot, there is a actual army military force underneath the Helldivers. Like the Helldivers are essentially supposed to be the special forces. There is an actual ground troop force called the Super Earth Armed Forces.
They're the airborne that drops in.
Yeah.
It's like easy
airborne
company.
ranger. Yeah. So we had always seen bodies of, they're called the Siege soldiers. We had always seen the bodies on the planets that we were fighting on, but we had never seen actual Siege soldiers in game.
when this update came out,
They added them.
they added them as random NPCs on the ground that would fight alongside you.
Gotcha.
And not only that, but you could go up to them, you could salute them, and they would follow you, and they would stick by you and shoot. They'll also kill you on accident.
Oh, is there a lot of friendly fire in this game?
It's a feature. They are advertising it.
That's sad.
It is a feature.
Managed
Just
democracy.
wait. So on that note, here, we're getting into some memes now. Yep, so she's about to call this
Sending in an eagle.
or is it? It's not the, oh no, this is the meme. This is the
Administering
meme.
freedom.
Squad wipe. Squad wipe. Squad wipe. All in one go. No, friendly fire, it's a feature. It's a gameplay feature.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I need to make sure that was it. But yeah. It's because there's certain things that you kind of actually have to take into account, because in game a ship flies down in a strafing arc and drops the bomb.
Gotcha.
So because of the direction the ship came from, it embedded into the rock he was standing on. Had that happen to me the other day. I was really mad. I was going to get like 50 enemies in one go.
Right.
And there was a tower behind me, and it landed on the tower. I was so mad. It was gorgeous. They were all right there. It was coming in. It was perfectly placed in the middle of them, and then the fucking tower was in my way.
So when you respawn, do you respawn in the same stylish threads that
Yep.
you died in?
Now, here's the funny thing. Depending on which faction you
That's
fight,
what my priorities are.
yes, you do. You spawn
Okay.
in with the same loadout. In canon, it's supposed to be a different Helldiver. Somehow has the same exact equipment, but whatever.
Well, they have this clone body printer that just prints.
I like that theory more. It makes sense, but at the same time, it's also funny that they're it's all a different person every time. It's just kind of funny.
I'm Mickey, 227.
Yeah. The more you fight, the more
How many will get the
bloodstained. I know, right? The more bloodstained your armor will get. The
Really?
more dirty it'll get.
Okay.
Sometimes your cape will tatter.
All right.
And depending on which enemy you fight, it's also different stains. You can get blood, oil, acid, and blue blood from the Illuminate.
Very nice.
So you can...
Stylish.
So part of that's your own blood. But
It happens.
if you extract
Right.
and you're in that state, you'll be back on your ship, complete mess. Walking around your ship, just caked in your enemy's blood. It's great.
You know what was
Love it.
one of the absolute best moments of Casino Royale?
Yeah.
The morning after the fight,
When he's all beaten up.
when he's all beaten up and has cuts on his face, and the first time you see Bond with all of the damage. Yeah, I like this feature.
Yeah.
I like this.
Nah.
Does anybody ever show up on ship like missing an arm or?
No.
Oh, that's
No, because you only lose limbs when you die, but you can break them, and then you can hit yourself with a stim pack.
and it fixes the arm.
And it fixes the arm, yeah.
Nice.
And they have 0 addictive qualities. Study was paid for by Permacura.
They think of everything.
They thought of everything. They thought of everything to the point where when you dive into game, they put little tips on the bottom of the loading screen because they got the cinematic and it's just a loading screen as the pods dive in.
Right.
But it's a hype loading screen. They put the little tips and tricks.
Sure.
And it's like if at first you don't succeed, dive again and 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 again. And it's just a list. But no, one of the other ones was, hey, did you know we put hints up during these loading sequences?
Nice. Nice.
It was one of them.
Okay, so I should know better because I am sure that this is not going to be the last millennial son introduces Gen X dad to something.
Yeah.
I made the mistake on the One Piece of saying the odds of my ever
Yeah.
reading this right. and we know. I'm actually looking forward to giving this game a try.
Okay.
I actually am.
Okay.
I am not. I have absolutely zero interest in becoming a long-term player.
Yeah.
But I think that beyond the, if we can figure out a keyboard mouse way of doing it,
We just have to get the game on a PC.
yeah. Well,
Which is
but we've got
doable.
we've got.
Yes, we were
peeps.
playing on PS5 last time, by the way.
We got peeps. Yeah.
It's what I had the game on. My PC
You know,
is
it's
good
fun.
for
It
editing
was
and
fun.
editing only. And
It
that's
was
it.
it was fun. I enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy that. I did have fun with that. So what else are we? You had a whole list of things to show me.
I did. We have a meme here. When people got the ability to salute and walk, they just made this.
Is that the salute?
Yep. People make the funniest stuff in this.
Yes, they do. They don't know how to march in step. Well, they do there.
Well, you can't control what your model does. It's just where it goes. This community just does stuff like
I love.
this.
Did you notice the bomb coming down
Yep,
in the
yep,
background?
yep.
You know, we're dancing, but that's hysterical.
Jeez. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
how many different songs did people put that to? Can you
Oh, a
imagine the
ton.
fun you could have with
ton.
just replacing the soundtrack to that?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You could do it fun. So essentially, they put their DLC. They call it War Bonds, and it's basically, how do I put this in terms that you would understand?
I am fluent in the English language. Give it a try.
Okay, so it's basically their version of a battle pass, except it's not pay to win battle passes or pay to play battle passes.
Okay.
All right, so you know what a battle pass is?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So they essentially, you can pay to unlock it early because there's the premium currency in game, but you can
Right.
earn that premium currency in game.
Right.
So every few months they drop a new war bond, which is got a list of items in it, and then you have to complete missions to get a different currency called war bond medals. And those war bond medals are used to unlock items in the war bonds.
Sure.
So that came out right after the most recent war bond, which is called the Masters of Ceremony war bond, and it is just decorative uniform stuff. They dropped a saber sword, that flag that they were carrying, and the armor in that trailer, and people hated that war bond because it was nothing but roleplay material. It didn't have a lot of from what I understand, because I haven't unlocked it yet.
Not of true functionality.
It didn't have a lot of. They buffed it later to give it some better stuff to make it more viable. But it basically was just like, this looks dope, and it's going to allow people to role play in game, and it just looks awesome. But each war bond is a different theme. So there's there was a laser weapon one, there was a fire weapon one, there was a gas weapon one, there was a jungle warriors one where you had sleeveless with berets and throwing knives. There was one where it was cowboy, but they didn't give us a cowboy hat.
Why? How do you do cowboy without a cowboy hat? Or at least a cavalry hat?
Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
No. Apocalypse Now. Dun, da, 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 da.
Thank
You're
you.
all right?
Thank you.
With the hat.
Thank you. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
How do you miss that?
They gave us a quick draw so that you have emotes in game.
Okay, quick draw's pretty good.
They gave us an emote. So in game you've got emotes. That's how you do stuff like that. So the walking like that, it's an emote. You get a wheel. You can put 4 on there at a time, and then you can activate them on your ship or in game. And one of them is a quick draw emote, where you will literally stand in the quick draw.
Okay.
And then when you pull the trigger, you will pull your sidearm and you will shoot. And it does not matter what sidearm you have. It could be a revolver. It could be a machine pistol. It could be the mini nuke pistol.
Okay.
That shoots 10 feet in front of you and explodes.
Nice.
It could be any of that. It could be a grenade pistol. It could be a stim pistol. So you can play quick draw in this game.
Nice.
You can also play hot potato with dynamite.
But they missed the hat.
But they missed the hat.
Arrowhead,
How?
come on, just
they
give
are
us the hat.
so good
Just
at
give us the
everything
hat.
else. They missed the hat.
Give us the hat.
A sombrero.
Okay. I'm gonna finish this one off.
Okay.
With one of the more crazy high-level gameplay.
Okay.
So give me a second to find that. Just showing you what this game can look like at full.
This is the clip I've been dreading. You told me you were going to show me a full speed.
Tank.
A4! A4! Wake up! Wake up, A4! You robot mother. Woman, get down!
Hang on. 500 pounder going in on that SOB. Back up from it, A4.
They got me surrounded! They got me surrounded!
One moment, let's go.
Is this someone on mic?
This is someone on mic. These are actual players.
Oh
Just
my
play.
goodness.
Yeah, I told you. Players get into it.
Yes, they do.
Requesting advanced weaponry.
Tremendous jumping ability. Oh, okay,
Get
good.
some! Get some! You are the tender, and liberty is the match! How'd you like the taste of freedom?
Fighting from on top of the bug.
He is fighting from off the
Nice.
Oh shit!
Sweet Jesus, I turn around and he gets shit flying in my face.
Oh, it sounds big, whatever it is. Yep, there it is. There it is, there it is. Oh my god. Oh my god, get him off me. Get him off me.
I'm trying it. I got him. Come back.
Get him off me.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Ah! You'll never take me alive! Man! Man, where are you?
Trying my best. I have no more fucking ammo. I need a resupply.
Get behind me! Use my body as a shield! This is a fucking horror movie!
Nice, nice. Yo, did it just lift back up?
Why is it landing? Why is it landing?
It lifted back up.
Last reload.
What the hell? That was so confusing.
That got hard to watch. Just motion sickness. That one got hard. How many of my fellow Gen Xers are watching this game and playing it through the lower half of their glasses? I mean, if you're going to talk to me about being a Gen Xer, this is a real issue.
Yeah. So you know what?
Okay.
I think that was a good example.
That was good.
I would like to find Calmus Malevolent battle.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
That planet I told you about.
Yes.
Just lasers and stuff everywhere. And that really was calm for that planet.
You know,
All that going off.
of all the excuse me, the video games like that I see, and I see clips of, and Lord knows I see a lot of them. I can't tell what everybody's looking at. I have a very difficult time figuring out what people are shooting at and what you're supposed to see.
Yeah.
My only question is that realistic to war. I have been blessed to be a peacetime person.
I can't speak to war, but I can speak to airsoft.
Yeah.
That is hard as frick to see some people.
Okay.
In there,
All right.
you know.
All right.
So, you know. Not at all comparing it, but
No. We're talking
but
about
like just in terms of even just a friendly game where people are actively trying to hide and hunt, hunt each other out.
cat and mouse outdoors.
Cat and mouse outdoors. It gets hard.
Is it that hard to see?
It's pretty hard to see, at least in airsoft. It's pretty hard to see. Yeah.
Which doesn't produce tracers and muzzle flashes and all that other stuff.
Unless you want it to. I've seen tracers in real life. And not the friendly kind.
Yeah, I know. I was on the other end of that phone call. Thank you. Hey, Helldivers. 2 a.m. I am in bed and my phone rings. And this knucklehead is calling me from Afghanistan.
I did not call you from Afghanistan.
Yes, you did.
I called you from Qatar.
That's not what you said to me.
I said I was going to Afghanistan.
No. Oh, no.
When did I call you from Afghanistan?
Because I distinctly remember you saying, "Oh, cool, those are tracers." And then the line went dead. And I didn't hear from him for 3 days. And it was it was the weekend of the pullout. You landed in Afghanistan. You called me. I don't know what time of day or night it was for you. Oh, hell yes.
It was late for me.
And
it was like,
and you had
the only times I was there was like the middle of the night.
Okay.
So.
And it was the middle of the night for me too. So the phone rings and I'm like, so you're a parent, the phone rings in the middle of the night. It's never good. I mean, it's either a wrong number or something seriously wrong. It's this knucklehead calling me from Afghanistan, and he says to me, "Oh, cool, those are tracers." And the line, I wanted to kill him. And it was everything in my power not to yell at him when he called me 3 days later. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm back in Qatar, everything's fine." Like, thank you, son. Yes, he did actually see tracers.
I did. I just don't remember that phone call.
Oh, I remember that phone call.
I was also on basically no sleep, but
I rolled over and I looked at your
50
hours. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, 50 hours.
We were both wide awake and we looked at each other and just went. And the only
I have no recollection of this.
I will never forget this. I will never forget this. Because you have one of two choices. You can just stress out until it would have been 3 days, or you can roll over and go to sleep. And the only thing that got me through that was faith. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Okay. There. We go down these little rabbit holes all the time here at Pork Chops, Rice and Peaches.
All right.
All right. This
was
kind of fun. Thank you for sharing that with me.
There were some of the trailers, a couple memes.
I see why people like this. I see why it's as big as it is. And yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I normally run with a few squads, or I just go randomly fill people's missions.
Gotcha.
You can just randomly join people's groups if they have an opening. If there's an opening. So I usually drop in and try to help out some lower players and just carry. So the role play in this is great. There's a guy. So there are people who have named themselves John Helldiver. There's a guy who took the name General Brash.
Okay.
And of course they tried to max level themselves. So they show up and they got to be good at the game. Otherwise, people aren't going to tolerate that. But there's a new guy. Because everyone knew about the John Helldiver players and then the General Brash guys. This guy is the Super Earth mailman. So what he does is he drops into a game
types in chat, I have a delivery for 1 portable hell bomb, 1 mech, 1 fast recon vehicle, and 1 whatever support weapon he brought with him. He calls in the stratagems near the other players and then leaves the match. He just drops it. He comes in, drops off equipment, and leaves.
Nice.
And it's great. I want to meet this man so bad. I want this man to drop into one of my games so bad.
Nice.
Yeah. No, players do whatever. They, you know, there's so much freedom. If you want to play as my friends and I have a running joke that one of he wears a very specific, very there was a war bond called Truth Enforcers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a white, pristine uniform with the mask and like the standard officer's cap. And it came with the at ease emote where you would just stand like this.
Okay.
Which looks really good if you're in like an officer's uniform in game. It looks really good. And so I have a friend who runs that armor almost exclusively. But the thing is, he's lower level than I am in game.
Okay.
So his rank title is lower than mine in all technicality. So in some of the war bonds, you can get a special badge and a different title. And in that one, Truth Enforcers, it was called, the badge was Free of Thought.
Free of thought.
So between me and him and the other guy, basically the running joke is that I'm the 5-star general that's leading the operation. And he is an agent sent by the Ministry of Truth to enforce effectiveness on the battlefield. He's supervising, he's checking in to see how we're doing, how the squad's doing. So we just kind of have a running joke about that. So that's the sort of thing that you can do. You can just play whatever, you know. Everyone has different factions. There are people who exclusively use certain sets and they drop in and they help lower players, or they go in and they only fight bugs. Some people only fight bots. Some people fight whatever the order is.
Nothing wrong with being a specialist, right?
That's up for debate. I'll explain that to you off camera because we are going to run out of time. But you know, the game has so much. So maybe that gave you a little taste of.
Well, it does, and I think if there's one thing I've learned to appreciate over the years, is that it's not just the video game play that makes these things special; it's the camaraderie. In
a game like this specifically,
it's the friendships.
It's
the ability to
jokes,
get friends together. To play.
Yep.
I appreciate that.
It's fun as hell.
It
really is.
It took me a long time to come around and appreciate that, because I was biased towards, well, my childhood, where you did all of that outside on the streets.
Yeah.
But tech is tech.
This is just how you can do it over.
Yep, over the internet. Yeah.
All right.
That's cool.
I'm
impressed.
Should we do Gen X Dad Tries D&D next?
It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. It is not going to happen. You know my feelings on D&D. You know my feelings on D&D.
All right. Anyway.
I agreed to do this one. I agreed to do one. You will never hear me say, I think it's a great idea to play D&D. Those words will never leave my mouth in a serious...
All right. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to everyone who did watch our previous Helldivers video. You know, if you want...
Helldivers community, you're great. Thank you.
You guys were fantastic.
Thoroughly enjoyed the comments.
You know what? If you are interested in any of the other stuff we do, we discuss movies, books, TV shows, and now video games. If not, thank you guys so much for coming and stopping by. We really appreciate it either way. So, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.